This is my smartphone and it's got a glasses-free 3D display. I have it on my iPhone 16 Pro Max and it's called SpatialGlass. And as many of you know, it is my very own product, and whether you just stumbled across this channel or you've been following me for a long time, you're not going to want to miss the really cool stuff that I have to share with you in this video, mainly focusing on huge announcements for SpatialGlass. If you don't know what SpatialGlass is, it is a premium screen protector with incredible clarity and durability that also makes your smartphone, your iPhone, capable of displaying things in glasses-free 3D like this, in portrait and horizontal orientation, in full screen or at any size that you want, in glasses-free 3D. It's unprecedented to have this level of 3D resolution without requiring any glasses, that has virtually no crosstalk, no ghosting, and doesn't screw up your beautiful 2D display, all achieved by a premium screen protector. As you can see, it's applied to my iPhone 16 Pro Max and it looks so sleek with SpatialGlass on it. And the 2D quality, 99% of my time on my smartphone is spent in 2D, not in 3D, and I don't even feel it. It's just beautiful. But when you want to enjoy 3D, you can view 3D images and 3D videos in any way you want. Gorgeous, gorgeous glasses-free 3D quality. That's just a very brief overview of what SpatialGlass is and what it lets you do. But what's so exciting about all the updates that I have to share in this video? I'm about to share them with you, but if you thought that was cool, then definitely give this video a like and subscribe to this channel, because we cover tons of amazing stuff like this on this channel for all the different glasses-free 3D devices, software, apps, and then AR and VR too. But I really want to encourage everybody to watch the end of this video because I've got some really cool announcements that I don't think you're going to want to miss. Starting with announcement number 1. Up until now, you have been able to purchase SpatialGlass that is compatible with the iPhone 15 series and the iPhone 16 series. Starting right now, you can now purchase SpatialGlass that is compatible with the iPhone 13 series and 14 series, with the exception of the iPhone 13 mini. You can purchase it today at spatial-glass.com. This is what the package looks like. This is what you'll get when you order SpatialGlass. Announcement number 2 is actually the even bigger announcement. I'm finally able to tell you everything about the app that we've been working so hard on for the past year. And the app is called SpatialGlass, and it is available right now to download from the App Store. You can go ahead and check it out right now, but if you have to leave this video, please come back and watch, because there's some really important information about how the app works and all of the cool features that we've put into it. For the rest of the video, I'm really going to focus on sharing all the different things you can do with SpatialGlass, the incredible features that we've packed into it. And then for those of you who order SpatialGlass, we'll show you in this video how to get everything set up, what comes in the box, so that you can use SpatialGlass to view things in 3D. So the app is available to download right now, but the first thing about it that I want you to know, not only is it built to work with the SpatialGlass screen protector, also supports AR glasses. You can use all of the 3D features in our app, even if you have not bought the actual screen protector SpatialGlass product. You can pay to access all of the in-app features with your AR glasses. When you purchase SpatialGlass, you actually get a code that comes packaged in the box to unlock all the 3D features, including compatibility with AR glasses. I recommend just purchasing the product for your iPhone, then you get access to 3D anytime, anywhere, directly in glasses-free 3D, but you can also use it with AR glasses. But if you're in a rush to try it out, or you just only like to view 3D with AR, we've got you covered. When you have the SpatialGlass screen protector applied to your iPhone and you download SpatialGlass, there's so many amazing things you can do in 3D within this one single app. And the way I see it, there are 2 core ones. The ability to directly view 3D media, images and videos in 3D, and the ability to convert 2D media into 3D. Let's start with the 3D format stuff. One of the most important and core features of this app is the fact that it supports spatial video and spatial photos, which means that I could capture a spatial video of what I'm seeing right now, or of myself, and then as soon as I'm done doing that, you can see that it shows up in the spatial album in the app immediately. And if I tap it, it shows all of the spatial videos and photos I've ever taken, and all I have to do is click on it and it starts playing in 3D instantly. You don't have to do any conversion, you don't have to wait, you just point, shoot, open it up in the app. It all shows up instantly in that spatial media album to give you easy instant access to anything that you've captured in spatial photo or spatial video mode on your iPhone. And those are official capture modes in your iPhone. It's really amazing because If you're someone who's already captured a bunch of these spatial photos and videos for other purposes, like to convert to side-by-side format to view on other devices, or to send to your Vision Pro and view there, those will all appear in that spatial album, and you'll be able to view them immediately in amazing quality glasses for 3D. Now, speaking of the Vision Pro also captures spatial photos and videos. Airdrop them to your iPhone, or if they're stored in iCloud, they will also appear in the album, and you can view those too instantly in Glasses Free 3D. It also means if you own an iPhone 13 or 14 or regular 15 model, you don't have the ability to capture these yourselves. If somebody airdrops it to you, it will be in that album. If somebody sends it to you over the Messages app, it also supports transfer of spatial format stuff. So you could have somebody from across the world send you some spatial videos and photos to your iPhone 13, and you'll be able to open it up and view it in 3D. Now, of course, it would be kind of crazy if we supported spatial and didn't support regular side-by-side. So we also have support for half-width and full-width side-by-side format images and videos. In the case of full-width, they're detected most of the time automatically, so they display in 3D, just like spatial does, just by clicking to open them. For half-width, we do not automatically detect, but there's a quick button to designate as half-width format, and then it'll display it in 3D for you. Or if you're sure everything in a certain album, for example, is half-width, you can click the Force 3D Display button, which just displays everything in 3D. So we have a lot of flexibility and tools in this app that are really intuitive and easy to access and easy to use in 3D any way you want. But when you're actually viewing stuff in 3D, what you can do is pinch to zoom for anything, photos and videos. If you open something, you double tap and it'll zoom to fill the screen. So it's a really comfortable user experience. And when you go portrait orientation, you can also zoom until it beautifully fills the entire screen. Some images may have been converted to 3D from a portrait format, and they'll be beautifully designed to fit the screen in 3D. You can also view those directly that way, and it looks so nice. So we've got this amazingly smooth pinch to zoom, but you can also pinch and zoom out and it still stays in 3D, which is really cool to see. Pan controls in 3D, and it also works exactly the same way with video. If you've viewed stuff in Glasses Free 3D before, or you're familiar with 3D, you know that sometimes alignment can be a problem. If the left and right image are too far apart, then it'll start to have ghosting or pop out too much and be uncomfortable to look at, and that's why we have these instant presets at the bottom. We have 3 circles that you can tap. You can basically think of it as 3 comfort settings for 3D viewing. The furthest one to the left will push stuff back into the display more. The furthest one to the right will pull it out, so it ends up with a little extra pop out. And the one in the middle is more of a neutral level. These pretty much well cover the common ranges that you'll get with stuff that you're taking from a mid to far distance. If you need extra precision, then from this upper right menu, you can pull up what we call the depth slider, and then as you can see, you can adjust in real time as you're viewing it in 3D, the convergence or the distance between the left and the right image, so that the 3D alignment is just perfect. And then once it is, the really cool thing about this, we've made it so that you can actually click this bookmark button and then save it as a new image with those settings. You don't even have to save it as a new image, you can just remember the settings. So if I remember the settings for this photo, swipe away and swipe back, it'll be exactly the way I fine-tuned it to be every time you come back to it. And this, again, it works for spatial, side-by-side images and videos. We also have an in-app camera, but there's even more. You can quickly do a little bit of a brightness adjustment just by swiping up. If you feel like it's a little too dim, you can just swipe up a little bit and it'll instantly get brighter, as you just saw. And then it stays at that level as you swipe across different images. But we also have something we call outdoor mode, which takes it up another couple levels. If you tap outdoor mode, then it gets really bright. And the reason this becomes necessary is because if you go outside without outdoor mode on, then it becomes really hard to see the 3D effect. The way it's rendering on the screen has to dim the image a little bit. Indoors, it's fine, and it works great and gives you the most crisp, beautiful 3D visuals you could ask for. When you go outdoors, it becomes hard to see the 3D effect. But if you turn on outdoor mode, the brightness uplift is so high that you're now able to see in 3D even when you're outside. And the reason that we separate it this way and don't just keep this on all the time is because there's a little bit of a trade-off when you do this. With outdoor mode on, the 3D sharpness actually drops a fair amount. And then there's crosstalk and ghosting that you don't get when you're using the regular mode. I don't recommend it in normal use. But when you're outside, there's things like natural lighting and other light sources that sort of cancel all that out. And what happens is that you just end up able to see in 3D and you don't notice any of those defects that happen when you turn on the outdoor mode. So it's perfect for use outdoors when you want to view stuff in 3D. One other thing I got to explain about how the 3D works on this in the first place is that normally you have eye tracking on. So what that means is that this front camera is tracking my eyes as I'm viewing it, and it's directing the 3D image straight at me. That means I can tilt the phone in different directions and it'll dynamically adjust the direction it's sending the left and right image in so that they stay locked onto my eyes. If you're swinging your phone wildly around like this, it's not going to be quick enough to just stay locked on in 3D the entire time. If you shift it and then stop again, it'll instantly lock back onto you and keep showing you 3D, and you don't need to stress about being in some sweet spot or the right angle and that sort of thing. And the eye tracking works perfectly in portrait and landscape orientation. We also have a mechanism built into this app to have the eye tracking turn off if you get too close. If you're not used to using glasses-free 3D, it might become uncomfortable or a little bit unstable if you get too close. So it'll kind of help you gauge what the right distance is to view stuff in 3D at. You can see it when I get too close to myself, it turns off. When I go further away, it turns back on. And if you don't like this feature, we actually give you the option in the global settings menu to just turn it off. So my whole goal in making the SpatialGlass app was to give us the most enjoyable 3D experience, the coolest 3D experience possible, but also the most control and flexibility over how we enjoy stuff in 3D. I want that for all of us. We've put a ton of thought into which features to include, and I'm very happy with the way the experience has turned out so far. Now, some people prefer to have the eye tracking off for various reasons. If you want to just be in full control yourself, you can position the phone at just the right spot and hold it there, and then it'll be in 3D even without eye tracking. There are multiple, probably 6 sweet spots across the plane of the device horizontally for both phone orientations. So if you want to, you can turn off eye tracking and just position it in just the right spot and view 3D that way. When you have all the lights turned off at night, or it's pitch black and you still want to view stuff in 3D, if you try to rely on eye tracking, it can become a little bit unstable because it can't detect your face or your eyes clearly in darkness. But if you turn the eye tracking off, you're not bound by that, which is a problem that I've had with a lot of glasses-free 3D products. They force you to use eye tracking. In situations like that, then the eye tracking fails. There's not much you can do about it. I don't want that to happen to anybody, so I give you the freedom to turn it on and off whenever you want. We have all this customization, the quick toggles for the 3D alignment, the depth slider to give you full control over that alignment, the outdoor mode, eye tracking on and off, forced 3D display if you want to just keep 3D on and you're confident that everything you have in an album is side-by-side images and that sort of thing. Spatial photos and videos are always automatically in 3D. You can turn 3D on and off by tapping this cube button on the bottom left. And then our eye tracking feature will also tell you things like move the device further away or cannot detect eyes, and that lets you know that you got a hat that's covering your eyes or something like that. Something is getting in the way, so you can reposition it and then you can fix it. Like sometimes you'll have your thumb over the camera or your hand in front of the camera without realizing it, and then it'll say can't detect eyes. The 3D will get messed up and you'll know that's the reason. You won't think something's broken or not functioning properly. But there's a lot more to cover. On the home screen, you have a couple of major categories. Instant access to your favorites. It's all tied to your Photos app and the album structure in there. So your favorites, spatial media, photos and videos, are the first 2 albums, and then cinematic and portrait have dedicated albums, the biggest ones at the top here, and I'll explain why I included those in a little bit. And then at the bottom, it's just all of your albums. So you can divide up 3D photos, spatial photos, and videos in any way you want, and even 2D stuff in all these different albums, and it will all be down here for you to access. And then if you click on the albums button, it'll just bring them all up so you can see them as a bigger thumbnail gallery view. And we even have shared album support. If you share stuff with family or friends, side-by-side images, they can be stored in those iCloud albums, and you can access them at any time by opening this up, and then you can just view those, click on them and view them in 3D. But then you have instant access to these cloud albums in this shared albums section. So that eye tracking discussion brings us back to the camera. One of the coolest things about this camera is that you can tap the cube button on the upper right and then visualize in 3D as you're taking it. Like you can see that I'm in 3D here right now. This is super cool because you can film stuff in 3D or take pictures and see how it's going to turn out in 3D as you're taking it. Super useful and really fun. But the one thing that you got to keep in mind with this is that Apple doesn't allow us to use the rear camera and the eye tracking camera at the same time. So this is non-eye tracked, which makes it a tad bit tricky when you're doing this, because you do have to position it in the sweet spot to look like it's in 3D, which can take some getting used to. You got to find the spot and then hold it there, and then you'll see it in 3D. And if you're taking a video and moving around, then you got to keep yourself in the sweet spot the entire time as you move, which also takes maybe a little bit of practice, but it's not that difficult. And you can see what you're capturing in 3D as you capture it. Camera mode also supports the outdoor mode, so if you want to make it brighter, you can turn that on. And then we also have alignment sliders for the camera too. So you might know that when you get up close to stuff in 3D, especially with glasses for 3D, you start to get a lot of pop out, and it can become a little bit uncomfortable, and you can dynamically adjust as you're doing that to make the left and right images more separated or closer together. Make that problem go away just by doing this. You know, you can see that it's getting better and worse by sliding the slider. You can do this in real time as you view it. So we give you a ton of freedom for the camera too. However, if you do not have an iPhone model that supports the spatial capture features, if you have the base iPhone 15 models or anything before that, 13 or 14, you don't have access to spatial capture. But you don't really need to worry, because this brings us to the second core set of features in this app, which is the 2D to 3D conversion. We have some of the best quality 2D to 3D conversion in the world built straight into this app, and it works on any of your 2D content, photos and videos, including stuff that you've captured of real people, real places and things with your iPhone, things that you've transferred over, captured with an even higher quality professional camera. But the best part, it's built right into the app, and it runs 100% locally on your device. So you do not need access to Wi-Fi. You do not need a connection to the internet of any form. And the other amazing thing is that it's instant and real time. So you don't have to wait for it to convert or process. Now, let me give you an extreme example. I can go into my camera roll and scroll all the way down to the very bottom, and here's a picture of a dog that we used to own from 2013. And if I tap this sparkle button, it instantly turns into 3D. So I can go back and take any of my memories, view them in high quality 3D with a single tap. It's that easy, and you can swipe and then do it with the next one. Not just people and pets, it looks incredible with scenery too. You just tap and it's in 3D. It looks beautiful. It's so powerful. But what's even cooler, we have presets at the bottom, just like the 3D alignment for spatial and side by side, for these conversions that are for the 3D strength. 3 strength presets to choose from. The one furthest to the left is the weakest, but it's still pretty strong. And then the middle one is a mid-level 3D strength. The one on the far right, you get the most depth and pop out. So you can choose based on your preferences and based on each image which one you want. You can even download and save the image. You can save the settings for that image or download it as a new image so you can send it off to another device and view these awesome 3D conversions anywhere. Now let's take a look at how it is with video. So here's a video from all those years ago, and if I tap the sparkle button, you can see that it's in 3D, in real time. This is all running 100% locally, instantaneous. You can do this with videos you took 20 years ago or videos you took today. And because it's processing in real time, there is some frame drop. It also depends on the resolution. If you're converting 4K, you'll probably notice it a little bit, but it's still fast enough. In most cases, it still feels pretty smooth, and it's just so cool because it's instantaneous and it gives you a ton of depth. Not done yet, but if you're impressed with the way we've designed this app, with the 3D features, or intrigued by this product, by SpatialGlass, any of this at all, like this video and make sure you're subscribed to this channel. It really means a lot to me, and then it also helps us out. We have so much more that we want to do with this, and this is just the beginning, but I'm not done yet. I told you that we have cinematic and portrait built into this app, and the reason for that is because we can do, in a lot of cases, even more powerful, smoother 2D to 3D AI conversion with those modes because of the way they're captured. And the coolest thing is those go all the way back to the iPhone 12. So if you've captured stuff on older iPhones, you can still have access to the cinematic portrait modes, which give you this crazy quality AI 2D to 3D conversion. The base level default 2D to 3D conversion is already really incredible, but portrait and cinematic can sometimes make it better. For cinematic, it's because the information needed to generate the second image is already there, built into those videos. It's not made from scratch for every single frame like the regular 2D to 3D conversion is. So that saves on processing power, and that makes it faster. So it basically runs at the native playback speed. Or on top of that, the depth information captured in cinematic mode and portrait mode is also using the depth sensors in the iPhone. It's based on real, true depth information that is captured with the iPhone hardware, which makes it come out really convincing in 3D a lot of the time. A lot of people don't even know this, but this depth information is actually just captured by default in a lot of the photos you're taking. So that means in our app, when you go in this portrait album and you scroll back, it'll include tons of those photos you didn't even know had this depth information, and those will automatically in this app just display in 3D. So you can go back and find a bunch of surprises of things that you never would have thought to even go back and convert into 3D just by looking through this portrait album. Cinematic, you have to choose as a video shooting mode, capture that way, but when you do, it is also automatically displayed in 3D in this app. All the same tools and controls that we just talked about, except that unlike spatial video and side-by-side video, you get access to the AI 3D strength controls. One more thing that applies to both the regular AI conversion and the cinematic and portrait is that we have a 3D conversion slider, which is a slider to precisely adjust the 3D strength to the exact level you want it to be at. And it even goes beyond the strength of the max level preset that we have. So you can push the 3D strength even further if you use this manual slider, which is super fun to play around with. I don't know if you can see, but it's increasing and decreasing the strength of the 3D in this image as I'm sliding this back and forth. You have complete control over that for videos and photos, anything using the AI conversion, including cinematic and portrait. You may have noticed there's one more slider that's available only for cinematic and portrait mode. And what this is for, if you tap this cube, you'll see that you get a depth map view. And if you slide the normalization slider, it's adjusting the distribution of gray and white and black across this depth map. And if you find just the right spot, it'll give you the most perfect, beautiful looking 3D image to make sure that you're getting the best possible result out of your cinematic and portrait images. You can visualize it with the depth map view, or you can just do it while you're viewing it in 3D. It's something you definitely got to try out when you download this app. We also support VR180. So obviously it's in 3D. When you open up a VR180 equirectangular format video or photo, you can pan around, zoom in and out to just the right level. We do have it set so that when you rotate between portrait and landscape, it defaults to just the perfect field of view for glasses-free 3D viewing on an iPhone. But if you do need to zoom in and out, you can easily do so. You can still adjust the alignment with the slider at the bottom. Everything else also applies, and you can even turn on gyro controls. So I can have it eye-tracked in 3D like this and view it in glasses-free 3D, looking around the scene in 3D, but with a gyro control. Another one of the most exciting features built into this app. You may have noticed, but at the top we have all these different categories of demo albums where we have images and videos streamed for access anytime. These do require an internet connection, but we have pets, the zoo, food, games, curated photos and videos called Best Photos and Videos. We have samples of some really beautiful images captured with some of the best consumer cameras that capture 3D video and photos. So you can open up any of these albums and then you'll see you'll get an instant access to all these high quality 3D photos and videos at full resolution in glasses-free 3D, which is really cool, including support for 180-degree videos, which we'll be adding a lot more in the future. Over the summer, this is one of the things we're going to focus on, adding a lot of cool, nice, extra demo content to experience. Well, that was a lot to go through, and that pretty much covers the main core features built into this app. There's other stuff that you can do, but let me know in the comments what you think. Definitely tell people about this. We've worked so hard on it. It really incorporates all the stuff that I've always wanted from 3D apps. Just kind of combine it all together to make the ultimate 3D media player experience. SpatialGlass, this is the baseline that I wanted to shoot for. And now that we've got here, I'm able to finally tell you all about it. That's why it's available in the App Store to download right now. But I am thinking towards the future, and there's so many fun, cool, and practical features that are not yet included that will be soon and continue to be added over the future. But it really does help. The more people that buy SpatialGlass, the more people that you share it with on forums or Discord or social media or just the people around you, because we can do even more and bring it to even more devices, new types of features, and even brand new 3D apps. Love to get your feedback and get people excited about this, talking about it on Discord, which by the way, I've posted a link to the SpatialGlass Discord. Up until now, there's not been much activity just because we haven't even announced the app yet. There's been limited models supported, but now we're finally finally ready to just go full throttle, get a community started, and we'd love to have all of you be a part of it. Take feedback, suggestions, things that you think look amazing on SpatialGlass. I'm going to be a part of it and sharing stuff like that too. So I'm really looking forward to that. I can just show you really quick an iPhone 16, also with SpatialGlass, and it works just as well, just as beautiful. Little secret about these iPhones, the screen resolution between the Pro, Pro Max, and the Plus and regular baseline models is actually basically the same. The only reason the resolution looks different is because the Pro and Max models have a little bit of a bigger screen size compared to the regular and the Plus models. Outside of that, there really isn't a resolution difference. So the quality of SpatialGlass in 3D, beautiful, gorgeous SpatialGlass quality that we've got on my iPhone 16 Pro Max, it looks just as good on the iPhone 16 and even on things like the 14 Plus. The 3D quality is just as awesome. So whether you've got a 13, 14, 15, or 16, quality of the 3D image is going to be equally amazing. Before we finish, I want to do a little bit of an unboxing and show you what comes in the box when you purchase SpatialGlass, and then how to get all set up and everything. Next, I want to give you a look at what actually comes in the SpatialGlass box. When you open it up, you slide this out of the package, and it will come with wipes to help clean your display when you apply the screen protector, a guide frame that you can snap on to the outside of your display so you can slip the screen protector right in and apply it very cleanly. And then, of course, on the bottom, you have the actual screen protector, which looks like this for the Pro version. It's a premium screen protector of top-class durability, neatly packaged inside the box. It also comes with this mirror packaged in, and you unfold it like this, slide these little side arms into the slits here, put it together like that, and set it up. And the reason you need a mirror, this mirror contraption, is to do the initial calibration. Once you have the screen protector on your phone, I've changed my background to a 3D background, which is another neat thing you can do with SpatialGlass. Normally it's in 2D, but I've made my wallpaper so it looks like the icons are actually floating in front of it, which is super cool. I'll show you how to do this in a future video. When we install the app, I will just hop on over to the App Store. So here's SpatialGlass in the App Store. AR compatibility, Glass is free 3D, captures photos and spatial video, and then all the other in-app features kind of highlighted in the store here. If you've been using SpatialGlass as a beta tester and you like it, we would love it if you would rate the app, write a review if you like, and if you're trying it out for the first time after you use it for a while, it would be awesome if you're willing to give our app a review and a rating. It'll help it get more exposure in the App Store. Re-download it to show you what happens when you start up SpatialGlass for the very first time. I'll open the app and it'll tell you exactly what to do. First, you need to give it permission to access your library and photos, and for obvious reasons, and then the camera's needed to track your eyes, to take photos and that sort of thing. Allow full access, allow access to the camera, microphone for recording, and this step here, it says my device has been activated because I already scanned my QR code to activate the device. Your box will come packaged with the QR code, or you'll get an email that you will scan on this step to unlock 3D features. If you purchased SpatialGlass without the glass, then you can unlock these features through an in-app purchase instead. So we hit continue, just guides you on how to use the cube icon to view things in 3D. You tap the cube and you have a little demo image in 3D, then hit continue, and now we load the AI model for the first time to do a conversion, and you tap that and it converts the 2D photo from 2D to 3D. So there's a little bit of a demo onboarding, and the next screen is going to be this auto calibration screen. This is the only step where you need the mirror, and you should only have to do this once. But what you do is you just set your phone down. Camera is on the left side here, face down, right below the mirror. As you can see, this is a mirror centered under the mirror, and then you just tap start calibration, and then it will run this calibration so that it knows how to display the 3D through the glass and pair it with eye tracking. And this is an entirely automated process. So you just sit and wait for about a minute. The thing you need to keep in mind with this step is that you have to be connected to Wi-Fi in order for the calibration to run. This initial calibration is the only part of the setup that requires Wi-Fi. And when it finishes, you're pretty much ready to dive in and use all the features inside the SpatialGlass app. It is possible that you could experience a situation where the calibration fails, and if that happens, then you can test it by slightly changing the lighting so you don't have too much direct lighting interfering. If you have a bright light shining right on the screen, it could interfere with the calibration, but 99% of the time you run it and it just works. And when it's done, it'll say successfully calibrated. Click OK, and the final step is this manual calibration step. Automatic calibration gets you 90% of the way there, but then with this manual calibration step, you just move this slider until the 3D cubes and the 3D text and the background all look as sharp and clean. There should be close to zero crosstalk and ghosting. It's super easy. You just slide the slider until you feel like it looks as nice as it can, and then you click save here. And then you do it again for the outdoor mode until you get it as nice as it can look. Click save again. Now you can use the app, all the features in the app. You should never have to calibrate again, and it'll work perfectly. If you feel like you didn't get it quite right, you can always use this menu on the bottom left to redo the auto or the manual calibration. I would highly recommend just doing the manual calibration because that's really where the fine-tuning gets off. Auto calibration should have done 99% of the work, so you can fix anything you need to with the manual calibration, but if you want, you can access auto calibration again anytime. And that's it. Your phone is then permanently upgraded to a glasses-free 3D smartphone. But I do have one request for all of you watching this video. I want everyone to know about SpatialGlass. I've spent the past 4 years using all the different best and worst glasses-free 3D products available, taken all the things that I've loved about them, gained inspiration, ideas, and pack that into this app for what I can confidently say is one of the best 3D experiences you can find anywhere. So if you like 3D, if you know people who like 3D, or you're a part of a community that likes 3D or 2D to 3D conversion, or AR or VR, tell everyone about SpatialGlass. Features included in this app relate to all those things, and I belong to all of those categories. But even if it was just a single one, I would want to know about SpatialGlass. I remember when I first found out about modern glasses-free 3D devices, and I was a bit frustrated that I didn't know about them sooner. I wanted to be a part of certain things. There's certain things I missed out on, like the red hydrogen one. I never got to be a part of that, and I regret it. I wish somebody had told me about it. I wish I knew. I want people to know that there is an amazing glasses-free 3D experience available right now for these smartphone models that offers the highest quality glasses-free 3D visuals we've ever seen on smartphones. The lowest crosstalk, portrait and horizontal 3D supports, and close to zero impact on the 2D quality of the screen. Anybody who buys SpatialGlass or uses the app is contributing to further development of the app. So every single cent that comes through purchases related to SpatialGlass goes straight back into making it even better. And that's why we've been able to get as far as we have today. All goes straight back into making the app better, bringing in more features, more future apps, and more support for different smartphones and other devices in the future. Well, that will be all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, especially if you watched to the end as I requested. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much to everyone who's shown support to me, to this channel, to SpatialGlass as a product, who's enjoyed it so far. Huge shout out to all of our beta testers. We couldn't have made it this far without your feedback and support. It's really been a fun and exciting process seeing the app grow together for everyone who's been using it since the beginning and seeing how SpatialGlass has evolved to what it is today. This official first App Store version, the different name changes and everything. It's just been a pretty wild ride. So thank you all so much for being a part of it. And I hope you continue to be a part of it and look forward to the amazing things that are yet to come. And finally, a tiny little sneak peek for those of you who stuck around to the end of this video of what will hopefully be coming to SpatialGlass later this year. Screen size comparison, iPhone 16 Pro Max versus the iPad mini. But you might be able to guess some of the things that we have planned based on this. Whether or not we make it happen and shippable is still going to come down to having support for the product. People get excited about SpatialGlass, posting about it, introducing people so we can build up the best 3D community that's ever existed. I'll leave it at that. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Stay tuned for more updates and more news about SpatialGlass to come soon, and then about 3D in general. I have some really cool videos on the way. Some big screens, some small screens, and some in between. Hope you're looking forward to those too, and I'll see you